Welcome, Kim Turner, Communications Director at the Food Bank of Delaware. And I know you're extremely busy right now, especially in these pandemic times, always at the holidays. But can you talk about what you're seeing right now? Has it amped up the need?
So we have seen an increase in demand since the summer. We did see a bit of a lull over the summer, and then September, those numbers started ticking back up. I did have our inventory manager pull me a report to compare what we have done from March 16th, 2020, so the start of the pandemic here in Delaware, to December 7th, 2020. We distributed over 14 million pounds of food. During that same period in 2019, we had distributed 7.6 million pounds. So we've
Wow.
almost doubled our distribution numbers compared to this time last year.
And Kim, are you seeing new people, or is it the same people with a greater need?
So we have worked with the University of Delaware to conduct a study on people who have been coming out to our large drive-through distributions. And of those people who responded, over 69% said they were not utilizing food pantries prior to the pandemic. So we are seeing a combination of people who have never needed help before, people who have been greatly impacted by the economic ramifications of the pandemic. Prior to the pandemic, we were serving 121,000 food insecure Delawareans. So we know that there is a great deal of need during normal times, and then added on to the economic impact of the pandemic, we're now about 164,000 food insecure Delawareans.
Now, I know you also service all three counties in Delaware, and do you check license plates? I mean, I'm sure maybe people, from close by in Maryland and Pennsylvania, who knows? But you are seeing a lot of new people, that's for sure, huh?
That's right. We've been distributing a USDA food, so we do have to check that those people are Delaware residents. So we know that there probably aren't any out-of-state people who are slipping in, at least at our distributions, just due to the USDA government food that we're distributing, and they have residency guidelines that we do have to follow. But there's been many people that I have met in the line of cars who have said, I've never needed to do this before. This is my first time. What do I do? So there definitely is people who have never needed to do this before.
It's just heartbreaking. I know you work with a lot of other organizations as well, Phil Abundance, and can you talk about some of the collaborators? This is a big combined effort.
Sure. So there is no way that we can distribute over 14 million pounds of food on our own. The food bank has always worked in partnership with organizations. That's the core tenet of the organization, is to distribute food out through what we call our network of hunger relief partners. So they might be a church that has a small food closet, a shelter, schools that are distributing meals through a school pantry, or a backpack program where we're sending weekend food home. But partnership has really been critical during this pandemic. For example, DelDOT has been instrumental in our large drive-through distributions. We could not do them without them and their traffic management expertise. The Delaware National Guard has played a critical role. The YMCA of Delaware, they really stepped up in the spring and the summer to help us get more food out to families with kids. School districts have always been an important part of partnerships. We've really grown our partnership with Del Tech over the duration of the pandemic. I think we've held 13 mobile distributions on campus for their students. So we can't do what we do without
Sure.
partners in the community.
And, what's the first step? Let's say someone is sitting at home, they realize that they just can't cut it right now alone. They're going to need some help. What do you do? Do you call the food bank to see where the closest center of distribution is? Is there a schedule folks can see online?
So we recommend people use the resources of Delaware 211. Not every food pantry in the state may be a partner of the food bank, so we always want to get people to a food pantry that's closest to their home. While we have a food pantry at the food bank in Newark and Milford, if somebody is up in Claymont, we really don't want to see them spending their gas money or bus fare to come down to Newark when the Claymont Community Center might be right in their backyard and they have a food pantry that can serve them. So we always want to make sure the community is aware of the resources of 211 as they're speaking with the operator. The operator might be also able to refer them to an organization that might be able to pay with or assist with rent payment or utility assistance. So we want to make sure that people are utilizing Delaware 211 as they have a wealth of resources as it relates to human services.
Sure. Now, just in the last few minutes we have, I wonder if we could talk about what I call your mantra: advocate, volunteer, advocate, donate. Let's explore each one. Volunteer. Do you need volunteers?
So volunteers are critical to what we do. All of the food donations that come in, we have to sort through them. We box them. All of the meal boxes that we create are homeless meals that are going out to homeless individuals living in hotels or motels, thanks to a partnership with Delaware Health and Social Services. All of those activities are conducted by volunteers. So we can't do what we do without volunteers.
And advocate seems pretty straightforward, but
it's always important here at the food bank that we are educating our legislative officials about the problems of food insecurity and poverty. We can't meet the demand of the charitable food system, cannot meet the demands by ourselves. These government programs that provide assistance to people are really, they're the safety net for so many people. So when there's threats to SNAP, that's where we come in and advocate and educate our elected officials about the economic impact of SNAP and how it's important to provide people the opportunity.
And Kim, share that acronym. Not everybody knows what SNAP means.
SNAP is the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. I think maybe 12 years ago, they changed. It's formerly food stamps. Some people still refer to it as food stamps,
Sure.
But now it is SNAP. So we want to make sure that people who are at risk of hunger are receiving the amount of money on their EBT, electronic benefits transfer card, so that they can go to the grocery store to buy what they need for their families. We want families to know that WIC, Women, Infant, and Children, is available for pregnant women, for families that have children under the age of 5. We want people to make sure they're utilizing those benefits so they don't go hungry, or if they need to free up money in their budget to pay their heating bill, that they have that opportunity.
I have this concern, though, that people who are more fortunate and are comfortably ensconced in their silos this holiday season might not understand how real this is and just how many of our fellow Delawareans are in need. If they can't volunteer, they can donate, correct?
With every dollar that's donated, the food bank can provide 3 meals. I always say that it's most impactful to come to the food bank, come out to one of our large drive-through distributions and see the people who are serving. There's one woman who always stands out in my mind. She is a former Army nurse. I think she's in her late 80s or 90s. You would never be able to tell. Her skin is so good, but she told me like she never imagined needing food assistance in her retirement years. She spent a lot of her money taking care of her grandkids. and, protecting our country as a nurse in the Army. Like, she has just a wonderful story, but it's just so sad to hear from our seniors who say they split their medication in half so that they can buy groceries.
Well, it's more than sad. It's disgraceful in the
You're right.
wealthiest
It is in
nation
this
on earth.
country.
Yeah,
Exactly. You're
absolutely
absolutely right.
disgraceful. So, well, donate. We'll have your email, rather website address up here the entire time. Anything else you want to let folks know before we go off to the holidays?
I feel that we are starting to turn the corner. The vaccine is becoming available, but we know that the economic recovery is going to take a lot longer than when, the pandemic may end. So we want to make sure that, people can continue to keep those who are struggling to put meals on the table in mind. A lot of people have gone through their savings in order to buy groceries during this difficult time, and it really is going to take time to get back on their feet.
Kim Turner of the Food Bank Delaware, thank you so much. And I wish you a bountiful holiday. Keep up
Thank you so much.
the great work.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.